This week on commandN, tweeting moo-moos, revenge of the nerds, and whose voice is that? Welcome to episode 212 of commandN. I'm Amber. It's been a busy week in tech news, from boobs on Facebook to tweeting cows. Really, the technology headlines kind of run the gamut. So let's get started and talk about the top headlines of the week. Our headlines this week are sponsored by our good friends over at GoDaddy.com. If you need to buy a domain name or any hosting services, GoDaddy is the best place to go. All of us on the commandN team use it on a regular basis. As for some great deals, one of them is a $7.49 deal for domain names. So you can get a domain name for just $7.49. All you have to do is visit their website and enter the promo code COMM749. That's COMM 749. Thanks for your support. The missing iPhone saga continues. Gizmodo reported that they paid $5,000 for an iPhone prototype that was reportedly left in a bar by an Apple engineer. Now, after all of this went down and Gizmodo reported on this, police eventually seized a computer from Gizmodo from one of their employees' homes, and of course this is escalating online. No news yet in terms of what they found on this computer, but of course Gizmodo is keeping us all up to date on the evolving story.
It's time for Boobquake.
A few weeks ago, an Iranian cleric said that women who showed too much skin triggered earthquakes. Subsequently, a college student in Indiana decided to do something about this and prove that it was not true. So she started Boobquake on Facebook, an online and offline protest for 24 hours and beyond, where women got together and showed a little bit of cleavage to prove that they in fact could not trigger earthquakes. If you think this was a small event, you are wrong, because more than 200,000 women participated, sharing their cleavage and a whole lot of love on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and other sites around the internet. Here are a couple of companies you probably haven't heard about in a while. AOL sold ICQ to DST for $187 million. Now, I used to use ICQ, which is an instant messaging program, way back in the late 1990s when I worked at Razorfish. I had thought that it kind of died off, but in fact, from reading this headline, I learned that it is very popular in other parts of the world. In Russia, it is the #1 instant messaging program, and in fact, 25% of the traffic on ICQ is from Russians. So a little interesting tidbit for all your techies out there. Even though John Mayer thinks that Twitter is dead as a communications tool, he is dead wrong, because even the cows have started tweeting. There's a small herd of cattle who is now hooked up to Twitter, so every time that they go to milk, all of that information is shared on Twitter. You can also find out other information from these cows. It's kind of interesting to follow along as far as how much milk they're producing. Maybe I have too much time in my hands, but I thought this was another fascinating tech tidbit of the week. There's not much to say about this next headline except for, move over Justin Timberlake, the nerds are bringing sexy back.
I'm bringing sexy back. Them other boys don't know how to act. Kazoo. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jeff MacArthur, and on this week's Hot Stuff product review, we're going to talk about Elgato's iTV Hybrid, which is a great little product that, as they bill it, it's all-in-one TV for your Mac or PC. So what's that mean? It means that it lets you receive and capture cable TV, unscrambled signals, digital and analog, or over-the-air, including HD signals, where those are broadcast. And it does this using this great little USB dongle here. So USB on one end, it's got a coax on the other end, so you can just screw your cable in there. It also has a small attachment that lets it fit a variety of accessories, like this, which has S-video and composite video and audio in, which allow you to capture video from analog sources like your VCR or even your game console. And it is available for Mac and PC, compatible with Windows 7, includes the drivers for that. But if you're on a Mac, you also get the fantastic ITV3 software. So this software gives you a TV guide that allows you to make programming choices, see what's upcoming, schedule all of a series to be recorded, or a lot of other things, pretty much just like your DVR did. So I don't have a DVR anymore. When I plugged in my iTV hybrid and installed ITV3, really, I was right back to having a DVR. I didn't have my HD channels here in Halifax. We don't get that sort of stuff over the air, although there were some clear-cam signals that I was able to get HD on. And it includes a year's free of TV guide data, which has to be renewed for about $20 a year after that. But this gives you all of your listings and everything you'd be used to seeing on your television guide on your set-top box. It even comes with a little remote control for your ITV, so you can switch channels and turn it on and off and set recordings and all that good sort of stuff. You can burn the shows that you've recorded onto a variety of different formats, including for iTunes, iPod, PSP, Apple TV. You can even do DivX, AVIs, and a lot others, which are very cool. Now the files are pretty big. I think an episode of That 70s Show for me came in at 1.5 GB. So that's the native uncompressed format. So those can obviously get as small as you want once you transcode them, but you will need a lot of drive space if you're planning on doing a lot of recordings. The software also lets you edit out unwanted content and some other great stuff there. There's even an application for your iPhone or iPod Touch called iTV, and that will let you stream live or recorded TV right to your handheld, which is super, super cool. Now sometimes there can be problems with the guide. This is usually around maybe not getting accurate listings if it doesn't recognize all the channels that are coming in, especially those clear-cam channels. And the remote, to use that, you need an IR receiver, but you can get a USB dongle for that, or some Macs come with an included one. But otherwise, it's just seamless integration between a DVR type software and your computer, and the ITV hybrid lets you capture all that. The signal looks just great. Costs $150, and really for all the functionality it gives you, if you've got a basic unscrambled cable TV signal coming in somewhere, it's an awful handy way to watch TV and to take your shows, get them into iTunes or get them onto your PSP or other device, and have all that coming out of one box. In fact, it kind of replaces one of the other Elgato products I reviewed, the video connector, because this can do that as well. So you're really getting a lot of bang for your buck for $150. So it's Elgato's ITV hybrid. I'm Jeff MacArthur. Enjoy.
Now it's time for our Power Friending tip. This is the new segment on commandN where I talk about social media strategies from my book, Power Friending. As for this week, we're going to talk about Facebook. A few tips that I took away from a meeting I recently had with a friend of mine who works at Facebook. Now these are tips for businesses looking to engage and connect with their customers or fans. Now the first tip I took away is that the white box, that blank box on Facebook, is the most important place on your page to communicate with your audience. You should focus at least 90% of your efforts on this box, and what you want to post in there is messages that you think will get shared, liked, and also commented on from your network. The second tip is to include as many photos as possible. This also means that you should feel free to change your profile picture and also change your thumbnail. You can adjust this within the profile picture as well. And anytime you post something on your Facebook page, you should try to attach an image, because that will definitely get more views. The third tip is, if you want to find out who is visiting your Facebook page and what type of demographics there are as far as the makeup of your audience on that site, the best thing to do is to check out Facebook Insights. This is where you can get stats including the gender divide. You can also find out what cities people are coming from, and all this interesting information that will really help you with your social media strategy. Our web pick this week is a website called whosvoice.org. This is a very cool destination for anyone who is interested in the voices behind different commercials or news about voice actors. Leo and I recently interviewed the founder on our podcast, Net at Night, which is an audio show we do every single week. There is so much interesting information on this website. I definitely urge you to check it out. One of my favorite things is some of the videos that are featured, like this one, which shows us the original voice of Darth Vader.
I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic...
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
That's all for this episode. Remember, we love to hear from you. All you have to do is leave us a comment at commandN.tv. If you have any ideas for websites that you want us to review, let us know, or web pics. And if you want to create a video, even better. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Go ahead, be gone with it. Look at them hips. Go ahead, be gone with it. Make me smile. Go ahead, be gone with it. Go ahead, child. Go ahead, be gone with it. Get your sexy on. Go ahead, be gone with it. Get your sexy on.
Jeez, there's so much crazy stuff. Oh my god.
Get your sexy on. Go ahead, be gone with it. Get your sexy on. Go ahead, be gone with it. Get your sexy on. Go ahead, be gone with it. Get your sexy on. Get your sexy on.